We still do 7 NUFC Matters shows for free a week. But if you want to support the channel, there are a few ways of doing it. Hit the like button on each live broadcast or video. This helps the channel grow. Hit the subscribe button and select the all notifications options. Hit the thanks button to buy a super sticker. You can do this on the live chat too. You can also join our Patreon page or buy us a coffee at the link in all of our video descriptions below. We are also looking for sponsors. If you want our latest advertising rates and how you can get involved, then email John at nufcmatters1892@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.
Attack. It feels like I've been talking to myself again, but it's the only way you're ever gonna learn. You look back and it's all in the past. I'm dwelling on the thoughts I cannot say to you. If I don't say the words, then maybe it's not true. And it feels alright when they come and say to you, you're the only thing that makes us all believe.
Good evening and welcome along to Talk of the Toon on NUFC Matters. It is welcome back to Sid after his operation. The Bionic Man, we will rebuild him. How are you, Sid?
Not bad. I was just here before them with my good friends, paracetamol and ibuprofen. Other tablets are available, folks.
But if you want to sponsor the show, ibuprofen or paracetamol, get in touch at the usual email address. We're only doing 45 minutes today. Rob will be joining us halfway through the show, of course, to do the music section. Then we'll get a quick prediction before we let Sid go because he is busy today. But Newcastle United losing against Aston Villa 2-0. Sid, listen, it's not that game that's got everybody riled. I'm sure you watched the fans forum last night. As always, a good cross section of opinions, and always a bit of banter on there. But I think it's the season as a whole, and that sounds crazy because we are still challenging on four fronts. But it's the season as a whole, and that Aston Villa game, it was just rinse and repeat for me. It was like the Wolves game. It was like the Sunderland game. It was like the Manchester United game. Newcastle United, devoid of ideas.
There's loads of them.
Brentford, 4-3-3 formation, 65 minutes, bring the substitutes on, whoever's available, like for like, no change of formation, and here we are again. Another defeat, and bizarrely, Newcastle are still in with a chance of Champions League qualification, but it can't last forever that on this current form.
I think it sums up how bad the league is, doesn't it? I think the league's probably the worst. Thank you very much. I think the league's probably as bad as it's been since the season Leicester won the league. I'm not trying to denigrate Leicester, by the way. They did brilliantly to win the title. But on that season, there was a lot of clubs in flux. And I thought that we would be the team where Villa are at the moment. I thought that's where we would be at the beginning of the season. I think I mentioned, I said I thought we'd be third. And clearly I know absolutely zero about football. And we're nowhere in sight. In fact, your article that I wrote for your magazine, How Has It Come to This? I think I titled it, summed up everything that I've felt for a while now. How's intransigence to changing the formation. It's just constantly 4-3-3. His lack of taking chances. It's always the same, like for like. The other day, we had the young lad, Usula, was back. Why not put him on for 15 minutes at the end? I appreciate he's had an injury, so I'm not expecting him to play a whole half. Let him cause chaos for 15 minutes and do something a bit different. Maybe have two up front. Just vary it. But it just seems to be this set motion, and we've all said the same. The forum said the same. I'm not talking anything different than what everybody else has said. And it's been so obvious now for quite some time. And it's dispiriting, if I'm being honest, because I've talked to my mates recently, and I've come out with, and I've openly said that I expect Eddie Howe to go at the end of the season. And if Newcastle don't get Europe, he deserves to lose his job. I genuinely think that, because we can't sit around going, oh, but he won a title last year, and it was the best day of my life as a Newcastle United fan. It was amazing. It really was. But you can't just sit on your laurels and not move forward. Otherwise, you've got no ambition. And some of my mates are chastising, blah, 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 and all the rest of it, giving it this, that, and the other. But what do you want? Guy's done a great job, but a huge step backwards, or do you want a minor step backwards is absolutely fine. But it's a hell of a step back at the minute. We look like a mid-table team, and we're not. We shouldn't be. We've bought really, really poorly. I've made a few notes here that in terms of the things that I looked at. And we bought Vissa, Voltemade, Chow, and Elanga, and Ramsey, as well, for £250 million. Why do I feel like Dr. Evil? I don't know. And we would be lucky, and I've worked it out here. I think maximum we'd get 150 million back on them. And I've written here, and most of that's through Chow. We paid 30 million for him. You'd probably get 60 million for him. But realistically, Vissa, what would you get from him? 25? He's 30 soon. 25 million. Voltemade, I think you'd still get 35 to 40 million for him. But it's a hell of a difference from 70. Ramsey, we paid 40 million. What we're doing, paying 40 million for Ramsey? It was a 25 million tops player. Tops. Elanga, you'd get 20 at a real push. So we're just nowhere near those figures. They're absolutely abysmal purchases. We should have went abroad and bought better. And obviously a lot of this holds onto the previous directors of football and all the rest of it. This is not all down to Eddie Howe, by the way, but he does have say in who you buy. And he's bought really, really poorly. And you're only as good as the last person or the last set of people that you've bought, and he's bought really, really badly. The Kevin Keegan motto was always buy better than what you have. We have not done that. We've bought a guy in Ramsey who seems to be playing in a slightly different position than he did at Villa, because he was always between the lines further up, and he seems to all of a sudden turn into a holding centre midfielder, which I don't think he is. Is he any better than Joe Willock? Not sure. Voltemade and Vissa, if you combine them together, they're still not as good as Isak. And Elanga is absolutely awful. Yes, he's had a couple of better games recently, and it's lovely to cheer him on and give him a bit of confidence and all the rest of it. But wait, man, he's been there for over 6 months, and we could have spent a little bit more and got Semenyo. And I know I keep harping on about it every couple of weeks when I'm on the show, but it just doesn't make sense to me. I can't get my head around it. Or went abroad and got somebody else. And I think what's also unusual, and people forget this, a couple of seasons ago, we were linked with both Maddison and Morgan Gibbs-White, who are both number 10s. So Howe was looking at changing the system and changing the whole formation. And that seems to have now evaporated and absolutely gone, which I don't understand either. So it does show you that he was flexible and wanting to change the way that we played. But all of a sudden, all of that seems to have gone now, because in the summer, we could have bought a number 10. I mean, Paqueta was available just today still, if they wanted to go down that route. I'm not saying he's the answer, by the way, folks.
Yeah.
But there are players out there. You've got the lad who was at Leicester who went to, I think he went to Roma or something like that. And there's 2 or 3 players out there who can just do something different, because I'm sick of seeing us going down the wings, whipping balls in, nobody being there. Why not have a player who can go past a player or two and slot it through the gaps? And at the minute, it's looking to me that they've almost been sort of, any flair has not been allowed to be played in the team. We have no flair players. And as a former winger, I love nothing more than flair. I love flair players. That's why you love your Peter Biazis and your Chris Waddles and Janola and Robert and all the rest of it. Somebody who can beat a man, do a trick, do something else, Ben Arthur and all these guys. We don't have a player like that. We've got loads of runners who are brilliant athletes and can knock you off the ball and harry you and do great stuff. You know, Joe Linton, brilliant, Tonali, magnificent footballer. And he did beat a couple of players, funnily enough, the other day. But generally, let's be honest, they don't go around beating a man or slotting a pass or doing something a little bit unusual. Bruno can maybe do it a little bit because he's a street footballer, isn't he? You can see him doing all those weird round-the-foot passes. But it's just demoralising. And I'm gutted because Eddie Howe's a really nice guy. And I really, really want him to succeed. A lovely, lovely fella. Perfect for the club. But unfortunately, it's not happening. And so I think he'll be gone at the end of the season. He'll either be sacked or he'll maybe take the England job, which might be perfect for him. And again, I was thinking about this the other day as well. He's one of them managers who I suspect every time he moves from one club to another, he upgrades slightly. And he has a bit of time off, does a bit of research, and he gets better. So he might be even better in the next job that he goes to because he's realised that, oh, I've really stuck in my ways here. Maybe I need to do this and this for a little bit, you know, for now. And yeah, I can, you know what? I can see him being, if he's not at England next season, I can see him being at Spurs.
I mean, lots of questions coming in. Said, do you think the big mistake we made was trying to hold on to Isak for too long, leaving us to panic in the transfer market?
Absolutely. And don't get me wrong, we would have all loved to have held on to him at the time. But we look at it, and the Ekitike deal was the obvious one. We weren't going to get both of them. So the obvious thing is to say to Liverpool, yes, you can have Isak, we'll get Ekitike, and we'll get some cash. And would have got £40 million out of it as well. And that would have meant us be able to spend up to about another 150 million with PSR. So, yeah, they absolutely shot themselves in the foot. I mean, don't get us wrong. They panic bought at the end of the season. Because, I mean, we now look at what Man United bought. That centre forwards turned out to be rubbish, you know?
Yeah.
And it's terrible. And there's a few others that are not so great. We overpaid for Visa. It's a shocking 55 million.
Sparky says, is it a player, Sid, or do you think it's a system that we're continuing to play?
I think it's a bit of both, isn't it? We certainly we need better players. Better players can adapt to any system. You know, great players play in any system. You can just, you know, they might not like it, but they can do. But How needs to change the system a little bit and vary it up a little bit. That's why the other week when we played the cup game and he had two up front, really. And I thought, great. And I didn't care if we lost that day because I thought, Brill, he's done something a little bit different. And unfortunately, we got thrown penalties. So I thought, yeah, lovely to see. He's taken a chance. Well done. Big round of applause. But that's the only time he's done something a little bit outside of the box recently. And he seems to be a little nervous, you know, and I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Can't get it. The only flair player we have in the club at the minute is Lewis Hall, and he's left back.
And Byrne is saying that in the chat. He says Hall is able to do that. He's great at going around players and finding space. Is it time to move Lewis Hall from left back into that area?
That is a possibility. If we had somebody who could play left back, and it's not Dan Byrne, by the way. If we had somebody who could play left back, I think he absolutely would fit in really, really well as left midfielder. I'm not sure he's fast enough to be a left winger, but definitely left midfield, and he can cover both areas. The lad's got great vision. And I love how he's able to look one way and just jink back another way. He's got the potential to be a world-class footballer, and it's not. I think the only other player on our whole team that I could say is Tonali. The rest are all very, very good. Bruno, if he was quicker, he could be a world-class footballer, but unfortunately, he's never going to get any quicker. Although he could technically play at least 40 because he's never going to get any slower, you know. But it's just honestly, I'm fed up, man. I'm fed up.
Yeah, I mean, I am as well, and I've tried to maintain a positivity on this platform. I've got to do the show. You see, I've got to do the show 7 days a week. So it's all right for you. You come on every couple of weeks. Some of the lads are on once a week. Some of the lads are on twice a week. But for me, I have to. If I have a meltdown, then I think the whole show goes to into the same kind of avenue as everybody else. But I think I've been honest what I've said. I know you still watch the shows even when you're not on. And I think, I've tried to be honest, but I think I've reached my breaking point now because I literally am sitting I am now literally sitting in my seat. I nearly had a wobble at the start of the season, but I thought, no, give him a chance. And he's found found a way. And I thought, let's not criticise. You've got to give the players time to bed in. And it is frustrating. Alanga, the signs of life there. There is signs of life. Ramsey, he's a good player, but we didn't need that type of player. And when he comes in, I'm hoping Ramsey's going to come in and do the Joe Linton job. He can't do Joe Linton's job. When Joe Linton's missing, there's a huge bloody gap in the team. Ramsdale isn't good enough.
Do we need a Joe Linton replacement, or do we change the formation and have a different style of football?
Exactly. That's the thing. And I think what we do need, and you and I have been crying out for it, as many other people on here have been, we need a creative player. And when Bruno's missing, we need somebody creative. And you just chuck Paqueta in, not as a suggestion to sign him, but Paqueta's the kind of player that can pick a pass, can turn something negative into a positive. And this is the problem we've got. We haven't got creativity in that team. And is that because we're not allowed to spend money? Is that because PIF aren't giving him any money? Is that because Eddie just won't change the bloody formation? It's got to be because he could have gone 4-4-2. God, what happened to the good old days when he used to chuck the centre half into the mix for the last 10 minutes when you're 1-0 down?
Eddie Howe was almost wedded to 4-4-2 at Bournemouth, wasn't he? And then he came here and had a totally different formation. So I don't get it. But my personal view, and I'm probably way off the mark, but I think he's going at the end of the season, and I don't think that's why he's got any money. I don't think they're going to give him any cash.
George alluded to that last night, didn't he? I mean, George said he'd heard from somebody. I mean, look, PSA is no good for anybody. PSA is not good from anybody, especially when somebody is sitting next to at the match. However, it's starting to feel like there is a situation development. And that's just my opinion, because at this moment in time, Gary's saying there, he watched a pod yesterday which said our problem isn't PSR, it's squad cost ratio. For me, it's just a change of 3 letters, man. We're going to take PSR now because the rules have changed. Now it's not PSR, it's SCR. So now we're going to be saying SCR for the next 3 or 4 years at press conferences. This is where we are. It's a bit of a problem. It's a problem of the corrupt cartel. We know that, but from our perspective, it doesn't make it any easier.
What I don't understand, this really annoys me actually, is the whole not getting players on loan business as well. Look at Villa last season. They got 2 players out on loan. Is it Sensio, I think he was called, and Marcus Rashford. They changed the second part of their season for Aston Villa, and we just pipped them on the last day, let's be honest, in terms of getting the Champions League place. Villa almost qualified for the semi-final of the Champions League by getting 2 extra players who've got a bit of flair and all the rest of it. Why can't we do the same? Yes, the wages will go up a little bit, but we can balance that up by getting rid of somebody, So I think it's this holding on to players as well. I mean, most people, and as lovely as he is, most people would have got rid of Joe Willock in the summer, or you'd get rid of him now. Bring somebody else in, there's his wages gone. Absolutely fine. You'd maybe get rid of another player. You could get rid of another player. You've got Lascelles there as well, has been magnificent, by the way, and a couple of others. We can do it, man. And I don't understand. I'm not interested if the player's not going to be here in September and we're going to have a long-term project with this guy. I don't care. If we're going to get somebody who's going to come in and bang us a load of goals or create something and get us into the top 6 for the end of the season, go and get him. Let's not just sit on our hands and say, we tried, but we couldn't get the player we wanted. We didn't want to move our targets up, this, that, and the other. Do something different, man. So I don't understand. I don't understand. And I feel really bad for seeing, I think Howe should be gone at the end of the season if he's not got Europe and that, because,
You're saying that. I'm saying I think he'll be gone. So there is a difference. You say you would want him gone, which is a big difference. I would like something to happen behind the scenes, which sees some stability with the sporting director, with some signings coming in. With everybody agreed, it can't be that difficult. And when the chairman's coming out saying he wants to be number one, then we need something from PIF here. And I'm losing my patience with PIF a little bit, only because there is a lack of communication from them. That's all.
If you spend £250 million, I don't care how much we got back.
Yes.
If you spend £250 million in the summer, you should be a top 6 club.
Yeah, I agree. However, in Eddie Howe's defence, or whoever it was doing the business, one would imagine he cast his eye over the list. But Eddie Howe's original list would probably be sitting in the top 2 in the Premier League, because our original list was Hugo Ekitike, Mbeumo, who obviously didn't come to us. We had more than enough.
Again, this is all contradictory, though, isn't it? Because you had one of the local journals giving it that Brian Mbeumo would have come for less wages because of the Champions League, but we didn't even go in and make an offer. So it's not, I don't think it's as black and white as everybody makes it. Oh, he went there for the 250 grand a week.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was expecting to get a fair packet. Didn't get us wrong. But, we could have offered a reasonable wage, and then at least it's on the table, and then let him say yes or no. So
I mean, the whole thing for me as well, which frustrates fans, is that, from the start, the press start asking in December, it's a bit early, but we won't ask you about the transfer window. Have you had any talks yet? Blah, blah, blah. Eddie goes, no, I haven't had any talks. If you're not going to spend any money, then just say we're not going to spend any money, because he still hasn't spoken to anybody, if you listen to what he says at the press conferences. So just tell us you're not going to spend any money. At least it would have got it out of the way in December, instead of us all hanging on until, middle of January, and we're still thinking that before you actually say, well, PSR, blah, blah, blah. He's mentioned PSR about 5 times in the last 5 or 6 press conferences. So now we're back to where we started. And Lee Ryder even said it in layman's terms, where's all the Isaac money kind of thing, and, well, I don't have anything to do with that. It was passed on to Ross Wilson and David Hopkinson, it's up to them now. It's their baby, so it's frustrating, mate. It's disappointing. We've got 6 or 7 minutes before we bring Rob in. So I just want to get your overall feeling about Wissa, because, you've had a bit of time off. Wissa's come into the team, Is he a striker? Because I've got to be honest, Sid, he drifts to the left. And when he drifts to the left, he can't hit the ball with his left. He scored predominantly his goals last season with his head and with his right foot. But he drifts to the left and then he seems unwilling to shoot. So is he a winger? I didn't watch him religiously at Brentford, but is he a winger?
I read one of the Brentford fans talking about him, and they said he scored most of his goals from the wing last season.
We're playing number 9, and he's not a bloody number 9.
He's not a straightforward number 9. And also, he's terrible at bloody offside. It's like watching Papi Cisse again, his compatriot who was never onside. Just hold your line, hold your run. The lad's clearly got talent. He's not a bad finisher. He's not brilliant, but he's not bad. I think he'll come good. We've not had too much time to train with him properly, unfortunately, because of the amount of games we've been playing since he's come back. It's a funny one. I think he's not a bad player, though. I do think he's a decent player. But again, the whole system's a bit nuts. The Voltamari one is the strange one. He's clearly a gifted footballer. I am not convinced he will make it at Newcastle United.
No,
and he might, as I seen one of the lads saying the other week, he maybe do brilliant in Spain or Italy or somewhere like that, or Germany, but he's not very strong. He's 6'7", 6'6", not great in the air, not very strong. Got a nice first touch, got a lovely pass on him. Definitely got something about him, definitely, but he's not the answer as a centre forward.
As the bloke who used to stand behind us in the Milburn paddocks in the late 80s used to say, he's weak as water. That's what he used to say. Yeah, I do agree as well. I think Wissa's more of a box-to-box finisher. We won't get much out of the box from him. And due to PSR rules, I cannot even get a round of drinks in, says Neil, which is unfortunate. But yeah, it's doom and gloom at the moment for Newcastle fans. With the games that we've got coming up, we've got obviously PSG tomorrow, which we'll talk about after the music section. It's relentless now. We've got the league game against Liverpool at the weekend, but then after that, we've got the Carabao Cup second leg at Manchester City, 2-0 down. Manchester City aren't playing well at the moment, Sid. Have we any hope of getting through to the final of the Carabao Cup? Is there a chance?
We've got no hope and Bob hope. It's I think it's the phrase. I just don't think it's all year this year for that, is it? Personally, I thought at home a draw would have been a fair result. I thought we played really well. 2-0 at the Etihad is a mad result of turnover. Where are we going to score the goals from, Steve?
Yeah, that's the problem.
We've only got one player who shoots outside the box, and that's Murphy. Jacob Murphy's the only player to take a shot out. Maybe he's Barnes on occasions. Nobody else. I mean, how many times have we tried to walk the ball into the back of the net, man? Just shoot. And it's, sadly, no. Sadly, no. I'm not writing the Villa game off, mind you, the Cup game, but I'm writing the City game off. I just don't see it. I don't see it. And it'll be a City, and I'm not sure who's going to get through between Arsenal and Chelsea. It's a funny one, that one. But I would love to see Arsenal bottle the title, though. That would be magnificent.
Okay, we are doing a slightly shorter show today, so we will bring Rob in for the music section. Good evening, Rob. Nice to be live again.
Hello, Rob.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you both?
Good, man. Yeah, you?
Really, really good. Good to see you, Sid, and good to see you, Steve. All good.
And you, mate.
I've enjoyed the weather.
Well, yeah, it's awful down here. Not reviewing this one today. Something good is about to happen. I'm not sure what on earth he's doing, Gary Ellis there, but he would be he'd be on some kind of list, I think, nowadays.
And what I can say is he's got wood.
He certainly has got wood, mate, and a rather wonderful moustache. Bad dress sense.
Gomez Adams, doesn't he?
Brilliant. Yeah. Grizzly Adams. Yeah.
So, what album are you going to review today, Rob?
It was one that I picked up, Steve, that you had on your playlist.
Yes.
Yeah, lovely cover to this album. It was a sixth album. Darker the shadow, the brighter the light. I love the album cover. I love the colour. I really do love the colour. It's about solitude, really. That's what it represents. And you've got your little clipper lighter at the bottom right-hand corner of the album. It's really good, but there was 23 songs in it. So before I listened to it, I just picked a handful of them. So yeah, this was The Streets. It's obviously, rapper and producer Mike Skinner. There's going to be a film released of the same name, so I'm not sure if that's out yet. But yeah, so opens up the track one, Too Much Yale, really good opener, simple, trippy, sort of like quite a nice wah-wah effect on this one. And it hits 1 minute, 23 seconds, brilliant. Direction again. I've not heard anything like this before, but one of my previous albums I did love doing was the NWA album, just out of Compton, and brilliant. It's just, again, it's just bizarre dub rap. I wasn't expecting it at all. It's sort of a bizarre, unusual alternative, sort of like female backing loop on this one as well, just sort of sitting at the back. This song does what it says in the tin. The delivery, the lyrics, the spoken word, the rap, it's all there. It's really good. You've got Walk of Shame. I chose brilliant lyrics again. This simply a song about daily life routine, mundane daily routine stuff, It's sort of snappy, nifty, sharp again. Nice steel guitar part on it. Really, really love the hand percussion parts on this as well. Just reminds me of school. Don't know what the instruments are on it. I didn't deep dive in it, but there was a lot going on, but it's subtle and very clear. Like I say, it's like a scripture of daily mundane life, the 9 to 5 sort of scene. Then you got Not a Good Idea. Again, underlying, it's sort of discreet but obvious, sort of like a trippy experience. Reminded me a little bit like Science Friction. That's Friction, Sid. Nice break after the first chorus as well. There's a little bit more darkness about this. Again, the spoken word of experience. It's just delivered from his soul. It's just not like from the heart. There you go. Here's a song. You can tell what it means to him, Mike Skinner. They got Funky Dream. Don't like the opening whatsoever, but again, consistently unexpected directions of it's going here, it's going there. It would be brilliant to listen to this in like a 5.1 or a Blu-ray. It would just be bizarre. There'd just be an awful lot going in, but simplified. Really unusual backbeats for this as well. I mean, arrangements, they're okay. A little bit weak for it. The arrangements compared to a lot of the other songs on this album. It's good. There's nothing disappointing in it. Got Kick the Can, brilliant. The lyrics to this are addictive. This when he says kick the can, it just went on my head. Definitely visuals on this, like storytelling, shall we say, Chris Difford. A lot of storytelling, a place in your daily life, pictures, a scene, really, really good. Understand. I mean, if there is a film about it, or if this is a theme of the album, it would be very interesting, even if it was cut into short little plays or scenes. Really, really good. A bit very, very early Jamiroquai-ish for me. Good song though. I'm going to finish up. It's called Someone Else's Tune. This is sort of more up tempo, a little bit more dancey, a little bit more sort of hip hop, trip hop. Vocals are more sung on this at certain parts. Every second verse, you can hear him singing a little bit more, and then dropping down into his spoken word. The sampling on his album, just another level. I personally, obviously, never heard an album like this before in my life. Really, really, really good album. And I didn't know he was as popular. I mean, this is his 6th album. Really impressive. But and again, Steve, I believe you're a big fan of this album, and I understand it from from a play, an act, the delivery, what you would take in personally, and how it would be delivered. So already listening to this album once straight away, it's like, you know what, that would be brilliant. I'm not saying anything like the Acid House by Trainspotting or Doyle guy, but yeah, it would be very, very interesting to see that come to life. It really, really would. But I really, really enjoyed it, and absolutely the cover to it's stunning. I love the cover to it. Great album. Glad to listen to it.
He's honestly, he's a great guy, great poet of his generation, and they're brilliant live. If you get a chance to go and see them live, he's absolutely superb. All of the Streets albums have got something to them, and the first two are epic, but that one's fairly recent, and I really did like that. But thanks, Rob. So, Sid, you've brought something today which I've listened to today. Actually, mate, what an album! I've listened to it twice today. Loved it.
I absolutely love it. It's one of my favourite ever albums, which is not a phrase I use all of the time. And it's Pete Townsend and Ronnie Lane's Rough Mix from 1977. I think it's an absolute stonker of an album. I really do. The following year, The Who released Who Are You? And I think that's a crap album. This is miles better. It's basically Townsend and Ronnie Lane got together, and Ronnie Lane had obviously left the Faces at this point, and he was wanting to record. He recorded at Townsend's studio, and during the whole process, funnily enough, Ronnie Lane discovered he had MS, which obviously is terrible, and they formed a little pact to sort of just release whatever they were recording together. And it came out and it didn't do very well, which is amazing because there's some fantastic musicians on it. But it's such a beautiful, laid-back groove album. It really is. I can't recommend it enough as an album. It's fantastic. It starts off, it's got first track's Nowhere to Run. Sorry, My Baby Gives It Away. I beg your pardon. A lovely rhythm with Townsend on guitar. It's got Charlie Watts on drums from the Stones. Lovely, fantastic groove. Just really, really super. We've then got Nowhere to Run, which is a lovely, vulnerable song. Ronnie Lane does vulnerability on his vocals just about better than anybody else. I love it. It's really, really fantastic the way his voice just brings a real sense of pain. Lovely. We've got Rabbit Bundrick from Free on keys, and Rabbit joined The Who for a while. And when I saw The Who in '99 at Shepherd's Bush Empire, there was the 4 of them and Rabbit on keys. It's one of the best top 3 gigs I've ever been to. Unbelievable. So Rabbit on keys, and you got Pete on banjo, and Townsend's a great banjo player. And Peter Hope Evans on harp. I forgot the band he was in it, actually. Was it Medicine Head or something like that? Great harmonica player. Lovely folk song, anyway. Next, we've got Rough Mix, title of the album, just an instrumental. It's got Eric Clapton on lead guitar, Tyne doing a magic bus type of groove. Henry Spinetti, Victor Spinetti, the actor, if people remember him out there, on drums. Henry Spinetti's a great drummer, by the way. He's drummed with some great people like Joan Armatrading, and that. He's a super drummer. Just a lovely, solid groove on this song. Great song, great instrumental. And then Annie, which is a real highlight on the album with Ronnie Lane, a beautiful ballad. It's like a real folk classic. It's got Charlie Hart on fiddle. It's a Celtic lilt. It's lovely. It's almost it's so laid back and beautiful. What a great song that is. I absolutely love it. We've then got Keep Me Turning by Pete, which Pete wrote. It should have been on Who Are You, in my opinion. I can imagine Daltrey singing it. It's brilliant. You can hear the bit when it rocks out in it. What a song it is. What a great, great song. Definitely should have been on the album. We've next got Cat Melody. It's a sort of rock and roll song. It's old-fashioned 50s rock and roll type of thing. Bit like and Richard Thompson would have done something like this, but like a Celtic rock and roll song. And it's very, very, very good. Really good groove. Next, we've got Misunderstood, which is a very laid-back song with Peter Hope Evans doing the harmonica. Loads of space. Townsend doing this cool walking street talking. It's almost like a rap thing over it, but it works really, really well. Last few, we've got April Fool again. It's a lovely folk song. You got Clapton on dobro, which is like a form of guitar.
Yeah, nice.
Townsend doing acoustic in the background. Lovely song. We've next got Street in the City, one of the best songs Townsend's ever written, in my opinion. His father-in-law, Edwin Astley, who was the great orchestra guy, he's doing the orchestration on it. And again, you can almost hear the Who dynamics on it if they did it as a band. Yeah. It would have been something that would have appeared on like a Tommy type album. It's brilliant. So yeah, that's top draw. I mean, it is really good. It's 6 minutes long as well. It's really, really good. Next, we've got Hard to Hang On To, another one that should have been on Who Are You, but there you have it. And Townsend wrote it, and they both share vocals on it beautifully. You could imagine Townsend and Daltrey singing, but don't get me wrong, it works brilliantly here with Ronnie Lane. And again, you're that beautiful sort of innocence almost in his voice, and it gets really powerful. Townsend doing his power chords on the acoustic and strumming along, and then it does this great guitar solo in it. And then finally, the album finishes with a country song by Don Williams, Till All the Rivers Run Dry. It's really, really fantastic. I love it. Dexys did an Irish album a few years ago. It's the sort of thing that would have been on it. It's a brilliant album. I cannot recommend Rough Mix enough. And the album cover I really like, because they've gone for the old cigarette packet inserts that you used to get. They've sort of done that on the front cover with iconic images. Love it. Just love it. So yeah, the podcast was great, by the way, Tim. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, there we go. Rough Mix, Pete Townsend, Ronnie Lane.
Great stuff. Slightly shorter show today, so thank you, Rob, for coming on. Looking forward. We'll be doing the Talk of the Toon every 2 weeks, but Rob will be submitting his review once a week, so we will fit him onto either an Ask Me or Ask George show next week. Thanks, Rob. Take care, mate.
Take care, Rob, man.
Cheers, bye-bye.
Okay, Sid, time to look ahead to the two games coming up. Newcastle United back in Champions League action tomorrow night. Bruno has travelled, so hopefully Bruno will be fit and raring to go. My source said that Joe Linton didn't travel. No surprise there. So maybe he's having a week off or 2 weeks off. I don't know whether there's been any
announcements. Brilliant as well recently, Steve. He's been brilliant.
Yeah, no updates from Eddie Howe though, but Bruno was in the travelling party, so that is great news. Newcastle, of course, finishing off the Champions League campaign, the first phase. It kicks off at 8 o'clock GMT tomorrow night, and we are assured of a place in the knockout phase playoffs. Our goal, of course, is to claim 3 points and snag a place in the last 16. The big problem is it's Paris Saint-Germain. Dan Burn and William Masula return to the bench, of course, against Aston Villa. Tino Livramento, Fabian Shaw, Emil Kraft and Jamal Lascelles are all unavailable. As for PSG, Ashraf Hakimi, Nuno Mendes and Fabian Ruiz and João Neves return to the squad for the defending champions. Luis Enrique's side won 1-0 at Auxerre in League One on Friday night, overtaking RC Lens at the top of the table. Referee is from Slovenia, and that is Slavko Vinic. And VAR is Christian Dinger, and he is from Germany, and the game is live on TNT Sports. How do you see this one going, Sid?
Who knows? It's one of them where we could get thrashed, or we might pull off a surprise result. It's not going to be helped with Big Joe not playing, and Bruno probably shouldn't play really if he's had his ankle done. But I suspect needs must, and I think they'll play him. I'm going to say we'll get beat 2-1. I think it'll be tighter than people think. I think we'll maybe get edged. I mean, they're brilliant, aren't they? You know, they're absolutely fantastic team. So, yeah, I think we'll get beat. I think we'll get beat 2-1.
And then out of the frying pan into the fire, Newcastle travel to Anfield. 8 o'clock kickoff on Saturday night, again live on TNT Sports. Simon Hooper has been appointed as the referee for that game. This is his second game of the season for Newcastle and Liverpool. He obviously was officiating in the 3-2 home defeat to Liverpool at the start of the season.
Yeah, he was in the game as well.
We don't have a good referee anymore in the Premier League. The Champions League refs are far superior. Yeah. Premier League, absolutely rubbish. Don't get us started on Gillette the weekend. Yeah. But Pawson is on VAR. But yeah, away to Anfield again. It's hard to predict because Liverpool they're on the crest of oblivion every time they play these days. I mean, they found a decent run, but they've been drawn too many games.
Well, their fans are calling for the manager's head, aren't they? Which is interesting. It's two sets of fans probably in similar mood at the moment. God, we never win it. I hate Liverpool. We never do anything down there. I'm going to be optimistic, and I'm going to go for 2-2.
2-2? Okay, but the last time we got a draw down there was 2020-21. Do you know who scored the equaliser in a 1-1 draw?
I don't know. Who was it?
Joe Willock.
Oh, was it? Okay.
So, you never know. Great stuff, Sid, as always, mate. Good luck with the recovery, and keep your head down with this wind, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Take care, pal.
Take care, folks. Bye-bye.